Quick update. This is a warning, but it is not a prediction. I do not know the future. But we have seen some very ominous events lately. The enemy has definitely stepped up their messaging that something, it appears, is about to happen. We've looked at the red lighting of the Palmyra Triumphal Arch that is sitting in Trafalgar Square in London. Very sinister, especially in light of the occult holidays that's in right now. And it was lit red on April 19th, which started off this time period. Then I found out that the Empire State Building was also lit up red the same night, April 19th. Slate magazine, using an old picture but of the same event. The Empire State Building turns red as Trump win is announced, perhaps auguring the blood rain of end times. It's getting so blatant, but people think it's funny or a joke because they aren't aware of prophecy and the celestial signs and current events. They don't have an understanding of the times, so they think this is a joke. This is no joke. This is all done deliberately on April 19th. And throughout this article, and even other news articles that I've been looking at talking about this, they are joking in a sense, or they appear to be joking about how they're talking about, oh, it's bathing the island of Manhattan in a sinister glow of pure evil. Was it some sort of supernatural signal that with Trump's victory, the end of days is nigh? They're alluding to the last Trump. They know it's the last Trump. Satan has his own counterfeit signals for his disciples as well. They know Scripture. They know the Bible. And he's going to counterfeit signals, referencing it and giving hints to his disciples, but he'll communicate it in ways that appear a joke to those who aren't paying attention. And they even have other articles talking and joking about, oh, the Trump apocalypse is getting close, and now we're up to 2 horsemen on the 4 horsemen of apocalypse scale that we have. And so many jokes and references at this time to an apocalypse watch, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Blood flowing, the end times, and there's a lot of jokes on Twitter referencing the Empire State Building turning red about how it's, oh, the blood of his enemies. Big push of blood and apocalypse and destruction at this time, April 19th started. You know, people are looking for significant events such as in the past, how there have been those. But what we're seeing now is much higher level. We're seeing the start of a spiritual event like none other. Just a few days ago, we talked about Lord Nelson there, how they put a mask on him and drew a lot of attention to that pretty much the day before they set up the arch. Drawing attention to this area, and that's what they're doing with all this messaging, drawing attention to Satan's disciples who are watching for the signals. And of course, his statue is on top of the pillar there, which is right in this square where the arch is. And someone was pointing out something very important with him, and I was wondering before of what's his connection? Why is his statue there? Why are they picking this spot? But someone told me today that his motto in Latin means, let him who earns it bear the palm. Talking about the palm branch for victory, which is exactly going back to all the other patterns we've been seeing with the palm, the phoenix, and even the triumphal entry, which goes right with the triumphal arch that they have right there in the square right in front of this statue. From a city called Palmyra, which is the city of palms. And they set it up in front of a guy whose motto is, let him who earns it bear the palm. And it's even reflected on his coat of arms, the Latin phrase as well as the palm tree. Palmyra, palm, triumphal entry, bathed in red, which, judging by the way people are commenting on the internet and joking about it, they know full well what it should represent. They know it should represent the blood of enemies and victory and apocalypse, and they're even joking about how it reminds them of Ghostbusters, which took place, one of the notable movies, on top of a large building in New York City. And we talked about this before briefly, of the 4 individuals there in the Ghostbuster who battle the demonic entity, come from another dimension through the 2 pillars, a pyramid shape on top of the building there. This is so blatant. And they're pulling it all together right now, the messaging and theme. And even just a few months ago, Legos announced that they're putting together a new Ghostbusters Lego set. And this is what is coming to people's minds at this time when they see the Empire State Building all lit up red and they're being told about a Trump apocalypse and hints to the last Trump and the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. This is what is coming to mind. And of course, Lego, we've talked about them before with the illuminated eye and the spiral and the dimensional gate and the portal that they've been pushing a lot lately, and the reference to alchemy, the mixing of magic and science and Mercury, and even tying in the Wizard of Oz with witchcraft and the picture of going across dimensions with the whirlwind, even allusions to Elijah and the chariot there, and of course references to the gold lion that they've made with the Katy Perry coming through the gateway there too as well. They're tying it all together now And they are basically announcing to their disciples that a demonic entity is about to come through a dimensional gateway. That is what they're expecting in a triumphal entry, referencing the Palmyra City triumphal arch in front of Lord Nelson, who's known for the palm as well. And of course, the palm tree representing the phoenix as well, just by itself. We've talked about that before. Are they expecting the palm tree to be burned down at this time? Are they expecting the palm tree to be made into ashes at this time? Is that why he was wearing a mask against air pollution? Smoke? Where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't know. But they're definitely giving strong hints that they expect sometime soon the church to be evacuated. The bride that is awake and ready, she will escape. They are dropping big hints that this is what they expect at this time. We don't know, we can't say for sure, but they are dropping a lot of very strong hints at this time connected to the events that are sitting in this square. Again, I do not know the future, but the days are very laden ahead of us, and we see Passover starting very soon. The enemy is messaging his disciples as much as he can, and of course this is the same location where they messaged the Galilee and the Destroyer and the Shiva and all that. That's what they're getting the world ready for, and they're putting out a red alert at this time to Satan's disciples. Time is very short. I do not know the future, but I do know we should be ready and we should be praying at this time for wisdom of what we should be doing. Definitely pray for the Watchman Ministries. There is a spiritual battle at this time, and it's very exhausting, and it's a lot of work to put this information together that all the different Watchmen find. So definitely keep the Watchmen in prayer during this time, and we're going to strive to stay on top of this as much as we can and pass along stuff, but we must be sober. We must be vigilant. The enemy is afoot. The enemy is very busy. And by looking at prophecy, we know this time is the time that we know our Redeemer is nigh, even at the doors. Let us make sure we are ready. Let us make sure we are watching. Serve Christ first and highest above all else. Maranatha.